All right, it's Saturday the 28th. It's let's see, it's 10 minutes to 9, and the Norton's looking good. The Norton got started yesterday. I got so much to finish it up, eight or 10 things to finish it up. But it's going to be difficult. I really can't work on it today because I have two, count them, two friends of mine having birthdays, one tomorrow, one Monday. And I have to get appropriately snarky birthday cards. So I've loaded up the RV and got a full tank of gas, loaded the refrigerator with food, and I'm striking out. I'm going to drive it around Arizona all until I find the appropriate. I'm going to hit every car wash that I can come to looking for snarky cards, and I have pledged that today will be a tour of the snark, and I'm not coming home until I have an appropriately snarky card for my two buddies. So I'm going to fire up the RV and go on a quest. That's it, a quest. I'm going to go on a quest for the appropriately snarky birthday card, and I'm not coming back until I've found them. So that's my quest for the day. Well, okay, it's 5 after 9. I'm back. I visited 17 car washes looking for the perfect two snarky cards, and I found them. And well, wait a minute, no, that wasn't me. Never mind. I went on Amazon, and they'll be here tomorrow. So I'm going to do some work on this guy. Now, as I said yesterday, front brakes need to be installed and bled. Rear brakes need to be made to work. A few other odds and ends. The biggest problem is this here, this reluctance to snap back. See, I put down change the gear, but it doesn't snap back. And I got to find out why. I'm hoping to goodness it's right here. That'd be nice. So I'm going to take this cover off and let me think. Yeah, I'm going to go directly in here. And that's my biggest concern. I mean, we talked about that shifter shaft. Remember, I pulled it out and put it on the bench and checked it for straightness, and I think it's straight. I just can't feature that being the problem. So I'm going to open this primary and take a look at that. Now, by the way, we did an overnight leak test from having ridden it, having started it yesterday. It's pretty good. I got 2 drips, and there and there, and they look bigger than they are. I mean, they're small and they just spread. That ain't bad. I'll try to see if I can find out where they came from, but okay, there's one right there on that frame. It could come from anywhere. And a little bit under here could be residual from something else. You know, that's the mechanic's prayer. Oh, please, dear Lord, let it be residual. So that's where we are. I'm going to open up that primary because that's my biggest concern. And now the day starts. All right, we've talked about this before. This shifter shaft goes from this side of the bike, where the shifter is, all the way across to the inside of the transmission to where the shifter on that side used to be. So basically they just put a shaft in the back door of the stock original shifter that used to be on the right hand side. It was very clever, a lot more clever than what Triumph did. So anyway, I look at this thing and I look at it and I swear I can see it being bent. But I took the shaft out and I rolled it on a flat surface and I couldn't see the bend. So I put it back in. Now, watch this. I'm just going to move this with these pliers and pretend this is the lever. Look at it spring back all by itself. See that? That's what it's supposed to do. Hold it here, let it go, it springs back. Hold it here, let it go, it springs back. So the spring action is there, the return action is there. Over here, that gear interacts with this gear, which is loosey-goosey, no binding, clean, got no problem. I don't know. But see this little bearing bushing down here? That goes on this. If this is bent, that'll bind. So you put it in here. Let's take this out there. It turns just fine. But once again, if it's bent, I don't know if you can, I don't know if it looks like this thing is, there's enough slop in here so you really can't tell if this is bent or not. Okay, bottom line. The price of this shaft is about the same as asking my machinist to take it and check it for straightness and straighten it if he can. And probably faster for me to order a new one, so I'm caught in the dilemma. I'm going to order a new shaft. Now, this has been described as throwing parts at a problem. I don't like to throw parts at a problem to see what happens. I like to know what parts I need, order what parts I need, the whole 9 yards. I don't like to throw parts at a problem. But this is the second time we've been inside this primary, and frankly, the next logical step is to replace this shaft. So I'm going to buy a new one. I'll leave this case open till I get the new one in stock. So that's the decision du jour. Okay, working on the rear brake, trying to figure out why it's not working. Disconnected this, checked for fluid flow pressure here. I got nothing. So the next available place, I really don't want to go into here yet, but I'm going to. The next available place to check was down here at the master cylinder. I have the master cylinder over here on the in the vise, and I'm not, well, I don't have 3 hands. I'll just show you that, yea verily. Oh yeah, we're getting pressure there. So this guy's working. So the question is, if it's working, why isn't it getting up here? That takes me down here to the brake switch. And this little poor bent up guy. Okay, I'll let you know, I'm still working on it. All right, I've got the master cylinder assembly up there. Pressing on the brake gives me a good solid pressure coming out of the assembly. Here's the whole hose assembly right here, and giving it a human powered pressure test. Yuck. Well, that flows just fine. So if I got pressure up here and it flows just fine here, golly days. That takes me over here. Let's take this part out and see if it flows. There you go. Let's see if we can get a human-powered pressure check on this guy. Right about here somewhere. Tastes terrible. Still flows. Which takes me into the caliper. I don't know. I guess I can put some pressure here with the air. Pop those they're still loose, so they haven't moved. Okay, I'll take this off, put some fluid down into them, add a little air pressure to pop them into the center, and start over. When all the pieces work, then the whole unit should work. That's a capital should. Let's see what happens. I've never done anything like this before. It's going to be kind of strange, but I'm going to try it anyway. I used a little bit of air pressure to force the brake pads into the center of the caliper against the brake disc. So now both sides of the caliper are empty. And I have here a baster that I just cleaned out with a bit of .4 brake fluid, so it's nice and clean. And I'm going to take it over there and I'm going to fill that caliper with it just to see what happens. So let's take a walk. I'll let you watch this experiment. I'm grasping at straws here, I know that. I mean, I've bled a lot of brakes. This is not my first day at the Western Clown Show. So let's just see what happens here. Oh boy, that came out quick. It didn't take much at all. That surprised me. I thought it would take more. But it is now full from here all the way through both. Okay, that was fun. All right. Now, just for grins, I'm going to go over here and fill up this hose, which is silly. Okay, I know this is silly. You got to do silly stuff every now and then. There you go. So, now both ends of this are full. Just let that sit there. Okay, so let's go over and clean up all that spilled brake fluid, which is a great degreaser on your lift, by the way. If you've got a messy lift, boy, let me tell you, brake fluid will clean it off. Another section of tubing. Flows just fine. Okay. Ooh. All right, I'm going to put all this together and see what happens. All right, I'm starting to get a good bleed. Got some fluid coming out. I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but it helps if you put a loop up so you can see the fluid stop while it's in between strokes, rather than going straight down and wondering about the air bubbles. So let's see if I can get this guy to bleed and give me some pressure. Can you see the bubbles? Let me bring the camera a little closer just for grins. Let you see the bubbles a little better, maybe. Get some more fluid. I'm using dot 4, which is okay there, a better dot 3. It's dot 3 improved, but not dot 5. There it is. Not a good connection. We have brakes. We have good brakes. All right, I'm gonna let that settle out a little bit. Just play with the bubbles. Let it sit there for a few minutes, let everything gravitate towards the top. It's a shame my hand's in your way. That's a nice clean slug. No bubbles in it at all. There you go. Okay, we're done. And we pour fluid all over the place again. This is a brand new bottle. You should have seen the last bottle. It had 20 years worth of brake fluid in it. So I just started a new bottle. And the sound you hear in the background is my buddy firing up his 5.0 Mustang that he built for his wife. It is so cool. 5.0 Mustang convertible. Let me see if I can zoom in on it for you. Okay, not so good by hand. Hang on. that a pretty car? That's Richard. You've seen Richard before, and that's his wife Marcy. You built the car for her. She wanted the big V8 and stick shift. So there you go. Let's see if she does. I hope I captured that. All right. Okay, so we got a good rear brake. Show you a little bit of action. Turning it and stopping it. Good solid rear brake. We'll test ride it and check the pedal location. I think it's probably okay. Show you that we have all the necessary bits and pieces on here, including the boot, das Boot. And so far so good. Now, in addition to getting a good rear brake, I made a little bit of adjustment on the chain guard. This guard originally had a spring-loaded catch that went inside here. The spring inside, buttons on this side. You press the buttons, you pull this end out. Well, that's gone. There's a bolt in its place. Well, the bolt was squeezing this because there's no spacer inside. So I put a spacer inside, tightened it down. This no longer rattles. And we're not really touching that much. We get a little bit of rub, but I don't think that's a game changer. So we're gonna leave this chain where it is, okay? Now, the next thing I noticed is that the adjusters are not equal. So I got out my wheel alignment tool, of which is over here. And if you've been around a while, you've seen me use this before. It's a pointer type deal with a hook. I'll keep it back here. Let me open this up some. There. With a hook that you hang over a known point, and then you measure to the rear axle, the center of the rear axle with this part. And as long as the center of both rear axles are the same, then your wheel's aligned. Okay, so let's go over here and check this side. Let's see, can you see what I see? Dubby, maybe. Okay, so let's go down here and zoom in. And I'm going to go from the top of the passenger peg mount down to here and measure to the center of the axle, okay? So here we go. That's how far it is on this side. Now, taking the same measurement without moving it over to this side, let's see if I can get this so you can see it. Can you see what I see? All right, there's the axle nut on the other side. And if I go over the same passenger peg mounting position and come down here and put this over, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a good 1/4 of an inch off center. So this side has to be adjusted 1/2 inch out, or the other side has to be adjusted 1/2 inch in, or they both need to be adjusted so that the axle is centered on both sides. So this is a very simple way of checking wheel alignment, and really, really effective. I've tried the laser pointers and the whole 9 yards, and this is a lot easier. And it just a basic little measuring device, really easy to make. So I'm going to go ahead and align this rear wheel and get both sides the same. Let's see, on a high note, first of all, it's not quite 2 o'clock. There it is. And some progress is made today. We've got the back wheel aligned, the back wheel spinning really nicely, and the back brake working just beautifully. Okay, nice, good, solid brake. I've ordered the parts for the primary case, the shaft and a new gasket. And what else? Adjusted the chain, adjusted the rear wheel alignment, and those are the highlights. Those are the good points. Now the bad point is when I went to test the rear brake light, the brake light switch, which is nestled way down in here, way down there. That's it. You can see it's sticking the two prongs out. It doesn't work. When I short the two wires together, I get a brake light just beautifully, which means that the switch itself is not switching, and that's on me. I should have tested that before I put this thing together. So I don't know if I have to take the brake assembly out, loosen it up, hang it up, loosen the Z plate. I'm not sure how to get that switch out of there. It's going to be fun. Just, you know, the fun never stops. So, but I'll buy that. I won't charge for that time because I should have checked that switch before I put it all together. That's on me. So anyway, some progress was made, and it's getting real warm around here, and I'm going to call it a day because I'm tired. I hear a gnat calling my name.